All right, so I'm going to try and put a video together to explain to you the how and the why behind subtraction. So often kids have a really bad habit with subtraction where they let their eyeballs do the work instead of their brain. And so my goal here is to teach you not to fall into the bad habit of what I call letting your basal ganglia win. The basal ganglia is the part of your brain where bad habits are formed. And so often kids have a bad habit with subtraction. So my goal of this video is to help you to understand why that is incorrect, what kids often do, and how to fix it. So I'm going to give you a number sentence here. It says 673 minus 152. What you need to realize is that when you're working with a number sentence, that first number is how many you're starting with. And so we're going to go ahead and copy that first. The second number is what is happening to that amount you're starting with. So what we're going to do to 763 is we're going to subtract 152. And the answer would be obviously how many you have left. The key here is that this top number is how many you have. And so we need to remember that if the top number is how many you have, and this is what is happening to it, our end result is what is left. So again, we have 3, we're going to take away 2, and we would have 1 left. And I can do a quick check to figure out if I'm right by going what I call bottoms up addition. Is 1 plus 2 equal to 3? And it is. So I am done with my ones column. I'm now going to move to my tens column. I have 7 tens, and I'm taking away 5 of them. Well, if I have 7 and I take away 5, I have 2 left. And I can do a quick check going bottoms up. Is 2 plus 5 equal to 7? And the answer is yes. So now I'm going to go over to the hundreds column. I have 6 hundreds, and my goal is to take away 1. If I have 6 and I take away 1, I have 5 left. I'm going to do a little bottoms up addition. Is 5 plus 1 equal to 6? And the answer is yes. So my final answer here would be 521. Now, that was very, very basic. But let me show you what kids often do that is not correct. So here I'm going to show you side by side the math algorithm, the procedure, compared to the actually what's happening. So what is really happening is we are starting with 567. And you can see in the picture over here, I have 5 hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 tens, these are my tens, and I have 7 ones. So I'm literally showing you how we're starting with 567. And the action that we're going to do, so again, this is what we're starting with. The action is we're going to take away 139. Now, we're always going to start in the ones column. And so you can see here, this is where people often basal ganglia. They let their eyeballs look at the ones column, and they see a 9, and they see a subtraction sign, and they see a 7, and they think to themselves, well, 9 minus 7 is 2. And then they'll move on to the tens column. But that is 100% wrong. It's wrong for 2 reasons. One, I'll show you. If we use bottoms up addition, is 2 plus 9 equal to 7? The answer to that is a big old no. And the other reason that that is completely wrong is that if you look over at my picture over here, I don't have 9 and I'm taking away 7. If you remember, I am starting with 7. These are my 7 right here. And I'm starting with 7 and I need to take away 9. And so this answer is completely incorrect. Let me go ahead and get rid of that too. And let me show you what you would do in a situation like this. We're not going to let our basal ganglia win. If I have 7 and I want to take away 9, obviously I can't do that. I don't have 9 to take away. But I do have all of this other stuff over here that I can borrow from. Now, we don't want to go all the way to the hundreds place to borrow. We can borrow right from a 10. So what I'm going to do is I have 6 tens. You can see I have 6 of them. I'm only going to need to borrow 1 of them. And when I borrow this 10, you can see I'm going to break it down into ones. And so that 10 gets broken down into 10 ones, and it's going to now be combined with the 7 that I already have. So let me show you what that looks like in the algorithm. I'm going to borrow a 10, leaving me, you can see, with only 5 10s left. You can see I had 6, but I borrowed 1, so now I only have 5. And I broke it down into 10 ones. But remember, I already had 7 ones. So 10 plus 7 is 17. So to make that 7 look like a 17, I'm just going to put a 1 here. And you can see now I have 17. And now, if I'm going to look at the meaning of this, I have 17 ones now, and my goal is to take away 9. Well, I can do that. I can take these 9 and take them away. And you can see that what I have left is I have 8 ones left. And if I use that bottoms up addition, 8 plus 9 is absolutely 17. I am done with the ones column. Now I'm going to move over to the tens column. You can see that I have 5 10s left. I started with 6, but now I'm down to 5. And my goal is to take away 3 of them. Well, I definitely have enough to do that. If I have 5, I have enough to take away 3. And you can see that I am very clearly left with 2. And I can check 2 plus 3 is 5. Great, I'm done with the tens column. Now I'm going to move over to the hundreds column. I have 5 hundreds. You can see them right here. And my goal is to take away 1 of them. Well, I definitely have enough to take away 1. When I take away 1, you can see that I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, because 5 minus 1 is 4. And I can just do a quick double check. 4 plus 1 is 5. And so what we had to realize here, guys, was we cannot basal ganglia. We can never take the bottom digit and subtract the top digit. If that's the only option, that simply means we need to borrow. So let's look at another example. Here I have 813. That is how many I'm starting with. You can see the 813 off to the left. 800s, 110, 3 ones. My goal is to take away 584 and to see how many I have left. Well, again, if you were to basal ganglia, your eyeballs would see the 3, see the subtraction sign, see the 4, and put a 1 here, because you would see that 4 minus 1 is 3. But that is not what this problem is saying. I am not starting with 4. I am very clearly starting with 3. The same way that we read a number sentence from left to right, we also read a book from the top down. And that is how we have to do math as well. And so this 1 doesn't make sense. And oh, by the way, if I put a 1 here, if I try and do bottoms up addition, 1 plus 4 is not 3. That is a great way to catch your basal ganglia mistake. And so you can see here, I don't have enough to take away 4 if I only have 3 ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my very next place value, which is my tens place. And I can borrow from that. I'm going to borrow this 10. And I'm going to turn it into ones. And you can see when I do that, I'm going to break that 10 into 10 ones. I didn't mean to overlap there. I'm going to get those up there. So I borrowed a 10, so I had 1, and now I don't have any. And that 10 turned into 10 ones, but we already had 3 ones to begin with. So 10 plus 3 is 13. To make that happen, I'm just going to put a 1 right next to the 3, and this becomes my new amount of ones. And if I have 13 ones, I have more than enough now to take away 4. So I'm going to go ahead and take these 4 and throw them away, subtract them, and you can see that I am left with 9 ones left. And if I want to double check that I'm right, I'm going to do 9 plus 4, and that is absolutely 13. So we're done with the ones column. Now I'm going to move over to the tens column. I have 0 10s left. You can see that, but I need to take away 8. And I can't do that right now. And I can't do 8 minus 0 because I don't have 8 10s. Remember, the top number is what we have. The bottom number is the action, what is happening to it. And so I'm going to have to borrow from the next place value, from the hundreds. And you can see here, I can break this 100 down into tens, and it's 10 times greater. So 10 tens will be getting from that 100. So I borrowed 100, leaving me only with 7. And that 100 broke down into 10 tens. Well, I don't have any other 10s to combine it with, so 10 plus nothing is 10. So to show that, I'm just going to put a 1 next to the 0. And this is now how many 10s I have. Well, if I have 10 10s, I now have more than enough to take away 8 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 8 10s and throw them in the garbage there. And you can see that I have 2 10s left. And if I do that bottoms up addition, 2 plus 8 is 10. So I know that I did not basal ganglia. Now I'm done with the tens place. I'm going to move over to the hundreds place. 7 minus 5. Well, if I have 7, I have more than enough to take away 5. So I can go ahead. I'm going to take away 4 first because I can't grab that other one. And another one is 5. And you can see that I have 2 left because 2 plus 5 is 7. And so my final answer would be 229. And you can see that in the picture. All right. I am going to show you real quick. If you basal ganglia, I'm going to show you what would happen and kind of how that would look. I'm going to get rid of that as fast as I can. There we go. Watch what happens if you basal ganglia. If you have 813 minus 584. If you forget that the top number is what you're starting with, and we need to go from the top down, and you see the 4 and the 3, and 4 minus 3 is 1, and you see the 8 and the 1, and 8 minus 1 is 7, and you see the 8 and the 5, and 8 minus 5 is 3. When you do your bottoms up addition, and you look at this, is 1 plus 4 equal to 3? No. Is 7 plus 8 equal to 1? No. If you can't do that bottoms up addition, place value by place value, you have made a basal ganglia mistake. Let's do one more. This time going all the way to the thousands place. 2,339 is how many I'm starting with. And you can see that in the picture off to the left. And the action is we're going to take away 3 1s, 7 10s, 600s, and 1,000. So again, I am starting with 9 1s. If it helps to circle it, circle it. The action is to take away 3. Well, if I have 9, I definitely have enough to take away. I don't think I have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about I get 9 in there? There we go. There's my 9. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me start that over. Hold on a second here. Let me get you. There we go. 9 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. If I have 9 1s, I have more than enough to take away 3. No problems there. And I have 6 left. And 6 plus 3 is 9. Done with the 1s column. I'm now going to move over to the 10s column. You can see I only have 3 10s. I don't have 7. I have 3. So if I have 3, I don't have enough to take away 7. In this case, if I were to put a 4 here and basal ganglia, I could easily catch my mistake because 4 plus 7 is not 3. So this is a quick way to make sure you're not letting your basal ganglia win. Now, if I don't have enough to subtract, I'm simply going to borrow from the next door neighbor. It's like knocking on the next door and borrowing some sugar. The next door neighbor is the hundreds place. So I'm going to take this, actually I borrow this 100, and I'm going to break it down, which means if I borrow 100, that means I'm only going to have 2 hundreds left. And that 100 turned into 10 10s. And I'm going to take those 10 10s and combine them with the 3 I already have. 10 plus 3 is 13. And so you can see now I have 13 10s and only 2 hundreds left, but we'll get there. I have 13 10s and I now have plenty to take away 7. And when I do, I am very clearly left with 6 because 6 plus 7 is 13. Done with that column. Now I'm going to move to the hundreds column. If I only have 2 hundreds, which you can see here, I don't have enough to take away 6. I don't want to let my basal ganglia win. We're simply going to borrow from the next place value. We're going to borrow some sugar, knock, 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 and we're going to get into, oh, there's those guys over there. I don't know where they disappeared to. And we're going to borrow from the thousands place. He is going to break down into 10 hundreds to combine with the 2 I already had. So we borrowed 1,000 and we're going to combine those 10 hundreds with the 2 we already have. That's going to make 12. We just need to put the 1 there. Now, if I have 12 hundreds, I have more than enough to get rid of the 6 that I need to get rid of. And you can see that I am left with 6 hundreds. You can see and count those there because I know that 6 plus 6 is 12. And now my thousands column, if I have 1,000 and I want to take away 1, no problem. I am left with 0. And so my final answer is 666. The goal, guys, is to never let your basal ganglia win. That is the goal. The key is that bottoms up addition. Every time you finish a place value, do that to double check yourself. You got this.